All right. Good morning to those of you on the East Coast. Good morning also to those of you on the West Coast. I am your host, Brandon Troy, and you guys are probably seeing something slightly different. So as you can see, I have two YouTube channels, but I figured, with the onset of the badge sale, that it would be I was trying to find a use, let's say, for utilizing the older channel that I have, and be on the lookout for it, because with this channel we'll be doing a lot of like how to's and tips related, info with this channel. And with that being said, as you saw in the title, we have the returning attendee badge sale happening with Comic-Con for the upcoming show for the 2023 edition. And I won't be alone in, discussing, what's happening with the sale as it happens. I will be joined by a good friend of mine. You have seen him on the show before. He, is in the media scene and brings, his expertise in terms of, previously, talking with entrepreneurs, so to speak, of various properties. But currently, he can be found with his very own outlet known as Tim's Tabletop. It is my pleasure to welcome back Tim Luddy. Let me bring him on. Tim, what's going
Hey,
on, man?
what's going on, Brandon?
All right, so here we are, right in still in the midst of the badge sale as we speak, currently right now, and I know I've been getting a lot of notes regarding the status of the sale, and I know a lot of folks are still currently waiting, to make it in. So, this for those who may not necessarily have seen you here on the show before, just talk about your history, with Comic Con.
Yeah, so I started going to Comic Con, I think in 2015, and I've been going ever since. And yeah, I think after that first year, meeting so many people, like you that were, creating podcasts and YouTube channels and all this, I dove into that side of it myself um, the next year. And yeah, I haven't been around for. I know Comic Con's switched things up a little bit. I haven't been around for one of these kind of years where the registration's a little different. So we'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
how
for
things
sure.
go
We'll see
today.
how it goes. We'll see how it goes for sure. I know right now, currently as it stands, for those that are currently trying to get in, they're looking at an update page. Currently, I'm assuming that's what you're still seeing right now as it stands too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a little maintenance page. So
So for so you're currently a part of a badge group yourself, correct?
yeah, I've got a big group from Massachusetts that we've been going together since 2015. So that's definitely a great group and definitely helps
Yeah, for
on
sure.
these
And for
days.
those of you that are, unfamiliar with how, things typically go, when it comes to San Diego Comic-Con and that badge sale, because of, instances like these where, you are basically, I don't want to say fighting among, hundreds of thousands of people, but you're basically trying to make your way in the queue to be able to get a badge out of, but so many spots that are available. And so typically the best course of action is doing a purchase group for those of you that are not familiar out there. So you basically have a group of, 20 or 30 or so people, and basically, as you are waiting to get in the queue, you're in constant communication amongst each other. And, as people are, communicating amongst each other, that, in terms of those logistics, whoever gets through, the idea is that that person is, of course, buying their own badge, but, buying someone else's badge too, and basically paying it forward that way of, helping out someone else among their group. And then, the reason why it's so important to have these groups is because you have to also trust each other to pay for those said badges, once they are purchased by someone else, if it comes to that. So so how long have you been a part of your current purchase group?
20 or 30 is a big group. Since I think we started trying in 2014
Okay.
and didn't get it that year because I think there was maybe like 4 of us trying to get in that year.
Okay.
So now there's so it's basically the people I go to Comic-Con every year. My mom, my sister, 2 of my friends from high school and college, and one of their wives is the lucky ones so far that are participating today, and then we've got another 5 that are always like, yeah, if you end up with one more, like, remember me.
Right. Yeah, I know for mine, I want to say mine has been going, I want to say since 2015. And it was birthed, where was yours again birthed from? Like, what was it from, like from a specific place, or you just, like you said, it was just happen chance among, the people that you know?
Yeah, it was just me and my friends and my sister trying to get in, and
Okay. Because I was going to say mine, and this is a shout out to Alyssa, Friends of CC. I actually had joined that forum and was able to put together a group, not just similar to you, putting together, friends, close friends, and family, but just as a result of that, also where it was able to include, a couple of other people that were already a part of the forum, and we haven't looked back since. And it's a pretty tight knit group, even though it's funny, you haven't seen a lot of these people like face to face. In person, virtually, we already have that, trust and that mutual relationship of helping each other get badges for Comic-Con. So that, that's one of the cool things about Comic-Con too, is that, you develop that rapport, with people, and it may not, because of that mutual love of going to the show, you guys look out for each other and you pay it forward, so to speak, when the time comes. Like, maybe we haven't communicated with each other all year, but then, like, as soon as we get that notification, it's like, so what are we doing? Like, what's happening? How are we going to make this work? So
yep.
I could always count on that. We will never, we never lose a beat, when the time comes to get each other badges. So,
Yeah, it's a good way to meet some new people that are going to the con, and
for sure,
keep connected with people through the years.
For sure. And right now, it looks like it's still updated. For those of you that are watching, whether it's via Facebook or on YouTube, feel free to let us know if you're getting any updates on your end. And then also keep in mind, as the sale is going on, we may mute ourselves temporarily, whether it's myself or Tim, because obviously we're in communication with our mutual groups, and there's, PI information and all types of stuff like that have to logistics wise be shared. So just be aware.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah, no. So if there's anyone watching out there, if there has been instances where perhaps in terms of what you guys have been seeing yourselves in terms of getting into the queue, maybe you got on the queue before the 8 a.m. PC or PT or the 11 a.m. ET time. Maybe you got in before that. Perhaps you guys are seeing a different a notification. Let us know. All right. So I know people are still getting the updates right now as it stands of getting that update, so to speak. And I know we have an ETA of 15 minutes. So maybe what'll happen is, I'm guessing, because there's so many people bunched up in that initial queue, maybe my guess is it'll probably free up as people are moved into those sale queues. So fingers crossed that it ends up relieving, those that are waiting in that initial queue, so that people can be moved in their slots to be able to purchase a badge.
I would.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I would hope if they aren't able to get it sorted, they kind of push it back an hour, or maybe half hour, just enough to like get everyone into the queue before the 9 or 12 o'clock deadline.
I was gonna say one thing that I'm having. Well, we'll see what happens, but for those that have been going beyond the 5-year mark, you guys probably remember before. This is before we had Epic, registration. Before they were using that third-party system. They were just using, the Comic-Con system as is, and this is before even they structured the Comic-Con IDs, and that was I want to say that was like the year before the 2011 show, I want to say, and it was either the 2010 or the 2011 show where the site I don't want to jinx it out there, but the site absolutely crashed. So and we ended up being provided with additional like a separate date, because Comic-Con base essentially had to kind of like regroup and figure out another way, and that's how the Epic system ended up being birthed, was because of that initial issue of it crashing. So we'll see. We shall see.
Felt ready to give it another shot. Yeah, I'm interested to know what the logic was behind switching from Epic, because I can see the getting it all under the member portal does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, traffic it doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. So yeah, it's a catch-22 for sure. So out of the people that are within your group currently right now, are they receiving that similar update, or has it going?
Okay. Yeah, everyone's on the maintenance page.
So I just wanted to give everyone an update about that out there, so that way they're not thinking that perhaps people are receiving different updates or experiencing something different. And a lot of us are in the same boat as you.
Yeah, because based on Twitter, it doesn't sound like there was anybody in before the maintenance, or got in and then a crash. It seems like right at that 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern, no one was working. Right. No one was getting in.
I'll double check here, see if we have any update here. Yeah, still maintenance. Yep, so I'm still getting notifications among people in my purchase group, and they still have got zilch. So I'm getting some deja vu, as I said, of that year. I don't know if I'm gonna check social media, just see weird things. Stan, I don't know if you had a chance to check on your own to see if you've had anyone get through. I know a lot of times Comic-Con will give an update of, as we're going through it, they'll give if people are getting into the queues to purchase badges, and then they'll update us with what days are available. So let's see.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good. They haven't updated since the maintenance update, but
So I'm looking at I don't know if anyone has been keeping track, speaking of what you were saying, keeping a track of what they've been mentioning via the feed on Twitter, but the replies that people are giving back on that updating sorry for the convenience message is hilarious. I will encourage anyone to take a look, because some of these replies, priceless.
yeah, it is kind of interesting because people are talking about stress tests and stuff, and this is kind of the stress test for the general sale. It doesn't sound like they're going to do this system for that, but it's
Yeah,
definitely like it should be a ton less traffic. They should be able to handle a ton more traffic if they eventually plan to do this for the general sale.
for sure. And I would say also, as people are waiting, I know it can kind of get you into a lull, but I would encourage you guys, as you guys are waiting, make sure you double check on all the information that you need, whether it's your badge, whether it's a badge that you intend to buy for a family member or someone else in your group. Make sure you have that all squared away, so that way when you get thrown in it, you're not scrambling to make sure you have all that information correct. And I say that, also because of whether you are making sure you're putting in the last names, the IDs, whatever the case may be, that you have it spelled correctly, down to the dotted T or the I, so that way, you are not scrambling to buy that badge for that said person in the finite amount of time that you have to get your badge.
Yeah, I got a little spreadsheet going with everyone's
Yeah.
member IDs and all that stuff. I'll be the first one to mute to take a quick call from
Yep.
someone from my group.
Yep. Speaking of which, I'm going to mute myself for a moment so I can reach out to someone. So you have the floor if, okay.
All right.
All right. Any update on your end as of yet?
More updating other people of like, you know,
Yeah.
no, we're not in, but we are
Be
okay.
ready.
Yeah.
Be ready.
Yeah, I feel more organized. Every year I do it. I remember some years I've had like, one laptop here, a tablet over here. Hey, roommate, can I borrow your laptop? I got to get this one over here, and just kind of.
Now I realize I was muted.
Yeah,
But yes, for sure, for sure. I get you.
got the system down by now.
Yes, yeah. And a lot of it, I mean, over the course of time, I would say a lot of it's trial and error. Like, there are things that maybe you don't anticipate would be something that you need, and then, you have to experience and go through before you're able to make that, adjustment or that tweak or pivot. So,
Hmm. I had 1 year I was at a bachelor party the weekend of registration.
oh, really?
So I got the laptop. I'm ready. Maybe had a drink or two, but I'm there in the morning. I got the laptop. I get in and I'm like I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to buy all three. I I left my card at the bar the night before, so I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
Phil, can I borrow $1,000? I guess. So it all worked out.
Note to self: don't go to bachelor party before registration. Yeah, I have two computers, and I wouldn't suggest this, but I know some folks have no other choice, and I've had it happen where I've been able to get through. So I use my phone also, believe it or not. Like, there was one year, actually, no, the year right before COVID. So what was that, for the 2020 show? That never happened.
Yeah.
I will never forget. I was speaking of random places that you are when you're doing registration. I was cleaning out my storage space and I had my phone up and running to do the sale. I wouldn't encourage anyone to do that, but I mean, that's just what I had to do at the time because I needed to get some things out of storage. And yeah, but I managed to get a badge all while cleaning storage room. So
Yeah, you don't always, with a week's notice, have the option to be sitting at a desk with
yeah,
multiple
pivot
screens
and
ready
say,
to rock.
oh, okay, let's do this. Yeah, let me make sure that I'm in this spot. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. That's a detriment of the friend buying group versus more of like a 20-30 person buying group. For the hotel registration last year, we were all on vacation together.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we didn't get it.
All right, so right now as it stands, everyone, everything appears still to be updating. You still have the same message, even if you, for those of you that have said that you've been refreshing, it's still that weird updating. Sorry for the inconvenience message that many of you have probably been staring at for the past hour.
So we got a official start time delayed.
So it'll be cool, hopefully, that we get um, an update momentarily through Comic-Con social media, be it their Facebook or their Twitter.
We've got an update as of a minute ago. Basically, Special Edition and WonderCon used this system, so they felt confident. They're investigating the issue, and the start time is being delayed, and they'll have another announcement by 9:30 or 11:30
All right,
Eastern.
there you go. There you go. For those of you that were not aware of the update.
So we'll see if the update in 30 minutes is
throwing in the towel.
right.
don't want to be the negative person here, but I mean, if you need to regroup, you need to regroup. It is what it is.
Yeah, so I think some people are asking, at this point, Brandon, would you rather them say like, all right, we can get it going in an hour, or would you say let's back to the drawing board, let's maybe next Saturday?
I would say, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I would say go back to the drawing board, because only reason why I say that too is I know so many people that are doing this still. There's folks in my group. I'm sure there are folks in your group that, they blocked off a certain block of time of their day on a Saturday to do this, and they have other things that they're doing. So, it's not fair to them. And I mean, I know it sounds kind of entitled, but I mean, you also have to understand that your consumer base are, because let's call it what it is. At the end of the day, consumers. You have to also be aware of the things that that they have going throughout that day. So maybe scheduling another time so that way you can maximize the number of people that are buying the badges, because you're going to have a lot of people, because they have other things to do today, they're just going to throw in the towel even probably before we even have the the update or of whether it's going to continue later. So I'm sure you would rather maximize having as many people as possible buy badges versus just a certain percentage of them buying it, because you had some people just throwing the towel because they had other things to do that day.
Yeah, I'm already
because I picture it as this, like if anyone is worked in retail, where you have those busy like holiday seasons where the lines are like exhaustive, like down the aisles from the front of the store all the way to the back of the store. It gets like that every once in a while if you've ever done retail. And sometimes you have folks, they like forget this, they'll leave their stuff and they'll leave, like, and that could have been potential revenue that you bring in to whatever it is that you're selling. So maybe the best bet is to regroup, so that way you can ensure that you're not losing out on potential attendees buying badges. And I mean, I know we have a open registration, but I mean, that's going to be even more let's be honest, more chaotic than returning badge registration is. So we'll see.
Yeah, I know they're probably I mean, they probably are, but they don't have to be worried about whether or not they're going to sell out. But taking care of the return customers is got to be the top priority.
Yeah.
And based on my limited experience with software and friends who do this kind of work, if they're able to fix this all in an hour, they're pretty impressive workers.
Yeah, for sure.
But hey, fingers crossed.
Stranger things have happened, right? While you're doing that, I'm going to mute myself just for a second to touch base with my sub leaders on the group.
Sounds good. I'll entertain myself.
Entertain away.
Yeah, based on their recent tweet about special edition and WonderCon, I'd be interested to hear from people who were part of either of those sales, which apparently used the system and went off without a hitch. I wasn't a part of either of those, so I know those are a lot fewer people. Especially special edition was kind of a weird situation where like a lot of people already had tickets. I'm not sure what the deal was there.
So I can hop in real quick on that, like for a moment. So like I did for special edition was relatively smooth. And the reason being one, because if I recall, you were able to you had two options. You were able to either apply what you had from your 2020 show, I believe, if I recall correctly, to the show without doing anything, or you could just buy another badge straight out, and the other one would just default to the full show. The sale itself went really smooth, but I feel like because it was such a finite amount of people. I mean, the show was what during Thanksgiving, and after people didn't have a chance to be together for like 18 months, that wasn't going to happen, that you want to have a full show of people for that time during Thanksgiving. I know people who went, but I'm just saying, like, and I've talked about it before. I feel like that was done purposefully so that way Comic-Con had a breather to basically figure out how they were going to manage a regular size show under the new circumstances. So I feel like that was put during that time and placed on that weekend and without saying it, to limit the amount of people who would go. Because let's
That
be
was
honest, if it was
disappointing.
during any other time of the year, everyone would have tried to get a ticket. Whether
And
it's
it's one of those
one,
like
whether it's
there's
winter or any other time of the year.
and there's a lot of smaller conventions, but because it's got that like Comic-Con name on it, they can't be like, but it's just going to be a little guy. Like, don't come if you're expecting Hall H. But people,
Exactly.
And it looks like the registration system is still Epic. It's Configio now, formerly Expologic Epic. So they're still involved in some way. I don't know if it's just they're hosting in a different place, or trying to integrate it with the system is what like I don't know what specifically they're changing, if they're still using the Epic system.
Yeah.
But they changed something that didn't it must be the where it's being hosted, because seems to be the load that's the problem.
Yeah. Which again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
Use a third party, a separate link, third party site. But and for those that are watching, appreciate you joining the live stream. Let us know, where you guys are watching from, and if you guys are part of a purchase group, where things stand with you guys on the sale for each of you. We'd love to know. Okay, so we have a message that came in. Messages from Mega Ron 83. What's up, Mega Ron? So what's the likelihood it gets postponed for another day? Good question. As I said, it was one of those 2 years, 2010 or 2011, where it was postponed. But when it was postponed, it was the difference of I want to say a month or so, because it gave them some time to really, dig into the system and figure out a way to manage the amount of traffic that was coming in from various avenues. So if they do schedule it, I would be surprised if it's oh, we're going to do it 2 days from now, or if we're going to do it 24 hours from now. If they do it, reschedule it, it's going to probably be a good little while from now. I'll look back on it, and I'll put it in the comments of when that time was, because I'm brain farting on how long ago that was, in fact, that we had that happen. But it was a substantial amount of time. I want to say it was at least a month or so minimum, if I recall.
That would be interesting, because that would push back the general sale, or push right up against it. And I gotta imagine they're going to try to get them both in by the end of the year.
Sure.
But I can make next Saturday work, Comic-Con, if you let me know. Let me know today. I can move some stuff around. The Saturday after that, things start to get sticky. So. Yeah, I'm remembering when I was first buying badges in 2014, 2015-ish, it was like the sales were in like March or something.
Yeah, my first year, this was for the 2009 show. I bought my badge on Comic-Con's website in June.
As just like there was no, this was before like it all sold
For
out in an
Epic,
hour.
before any of that, you could just go right on the website, and when it was open and available, you just went in there, bought your badge. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been fascinating to see how it has transformed into this big Goliath. And not to say that Comic-Con, was, prior to 2009 wasn't starting to, build momentum. It was, but with all facets of it, whether it's getting the badges, whether it's queuing up for lines. Like I remember, so that first year, you could probably be the front of the line, and people probably laugh when I say this, but you could probably be the front of the line uh, if the panel was at 11, if you got there at 3 or 4. Like that was enough for you to be at the front of Hall H. But then, of course, as we both know, like that's not the case at this point. People essentially camp out just to be in the front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point they're camping out just to get in.
Yeah, that too. And again, like 2009, we're talking before wristbands. Like there was no such thing as wristbands the first couple of years I went, and then as things started to get crazy with which still exists now, but it's kind of, I guess you can say it's controlled to a degree, is, you have folks similar to what we have now with the badge sales that, come together as a group for the lines, and are able to take people in line with them no matter where they stand in line. So to kind of like battle against that, so to speak, that's how we got the wristband system. But yeah, those first couple of years, it was a free for all. It was, you just got in line, and if you got in, you got in.
Yeah, do you think they're heading towards some kind of lottery system for panels? I know they've been moving
God,
that
I
way
hope not.
for.
Please
No?
don't. Please don't. It's crazy enough as it stands now. Please don't. Please don't do that. I hope not.
Yeah, I'm for it because it lets you know for better or worse beforehand. Like these are the ones you're getting into, and not for everything. Like just for maybe Hall H, maybe Ballroom 20, but that one doesn't really get too crazy. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it basically says you're getting in, go enjoy the rest of your day instead of like
That's true. I suppose,
36
yeah.
hours of like, are we gonna be good? How many people do those people have?
Right. Yeah, that's true. I get where you're coming from.
And I think the way we do the lines is pretty good. Like it's a good system of like nobody is actually sitting in line for 36 hours.
Right.
But still, it would be nice to just walk in an hour before the panel starts because you've got, tap your badge. Yep, I won the lottery 2 weeks ago.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, I know we were both at New York Comic Con last weekend, so it's tough not to compare like kind of the two big US cons, and there's a lot of stuff that San Diego does better. There's a couple things that New York makes things streamlined a little bit, where they've like
For
they don't
sure.
have 36-hour lines. They don't
Yeah.
have WB and Marvel coming for Hall H, but they've cut down a lot on lines, which is really nice.
And I would say it's also cool if you are going, if you're fortunate enough to go as media to cover the show. One thing that is cool about New York is that a lot of the things that you are asked to cover is in one spot, and that's not always the case if you're doing San Diego, because all of downtown is utilized, for the show. You may very well be in the convention center. You may very well be in, let me see, one of the hotels. And I mean, yeah, they're next door, but it's not literally footsteps next door. And then sometimes it may actually be at a venue that's downtown. So, it's a big difference or makes a difference when you are going from a panel to a venue that's downtown. For those of you that have done coverage for the show, so that it makes a difference, especially if you are lugging equipment around. So um, that part of it is really cool, and it was appreciated. So that would be something it would be nice to have transfer over to San Diego, where it's awesome that we have a lot of these, pop-ups and activations, so to speak. It would still be cool to have a lot of it, remain in one spot or one building.
Yeah, that'll
I mean, we have it to a degree. I guess you can arguably say you have it to a degree. So like the press rooms are typically all in, I want to say like Hilton Bayfront for the most part. But on occasion, as I say, you will get things that um, will send you to the Manchester, or you'll have things that will send you to a random establishment that's downtown. Maybe, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe for some of you that's not the case. Maybe you don't. It may not be an issue that you guys come across. All right, so it looks like, let's see if there's been any status. It says the issue has been discovered and resolved, and the waiting room will open at 9:30, and the sale will commence at 10 now.
okay.
I want to give a shout out to Scott for that update. Scott is a member of my purchase group, so shout out to you, Scott. You probably watch this afterwards if you aren't watching now, but I appreciate you sending the update there. And it may come a time, guys, where I will need to, or I'll say to you, Tim, I may need to head off just for a second, but I will give you guys a heads up, and then I will be back. Right now, should be good.
In the meantime, I will keep updating until this maintenance page goes away. Yeah, so I'm wondering what the issue was.
So following up on what you were saying, it looks like we have some superheroes after all if they were able to figure out the issue and resolve it. So remember you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, discovered and resolved in hour and a half. Pretty good. But yeah, talking about how spread out San Diego Comic-Con is like one of the best parts because it is like an absolute like gas lamp takeover.
Yeah, for sure. It's a double-edged sword, definitely.
But yeah, when you're, even going to like the library for panels is a little bit of a hike.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a similar thing for anyone who ever goes to CES. CES is a bunch of fun if you love technology. If you ever been to Vegas, though, you'll know how expansive the strip is of all of those strips of casinos and hotels, and where the convention center is. So, like, you have, if anyone is familiar with how the strip is situated, you have what is that? I'm trying to think of the name of the brain farting on the name of the hotel. I apologize, guys. But Mandalay Bay. Mandalay Bay is, I guess you can say, is kind of the start of the strip in terms of the casinos and hotels. And so, at least the year that I went, and I've only gone once. So if you have any folks out there that have gone more than once, maybe it's been different. But Mandalay Bay was where registration was, which was the start. I guess you can say the start of the Vegas Strip, and then you have the convention center, which is all the way at the very tail end of that strip. And so, like, there are places where in between there, some of those specific hotels and casinos are hosting certain organizations and companies. So you may have things that you're covering there, or you may have something that you're covering all the way at the convention center. So, I mean, yes, there are shuttles, but it can be quite a little trek if you're going, walking up and down the Vegas Strip. Thankfully, it's not during the summer. It's in January, so it's a little cooler. But yeah, it can be a little bit of a trek. So I will be prepared. I'm going back this year. I will be prepared this year for sure. now that I know
You'll have to
how
stop
they
at
have
less
it
casinos
situated.
on your walk.
Was that?
You'll have to stop at less casinos on your walk from registration. That's
Yeah,
how they
we'll
get
see.
you.
We'll see. Yeah, they'll get you. They'll definitely get you. But yeah, no, like it'll be interesting to see how they divvy up or utilize the strip, because there were far fewer companies that went this past year because of COVID, and we'll see how that shapes up into this year, because I'm guessing a lot of those that didn't go last year will in fact go this year. A lot of those corporations, companies will definitely more than likely be there this year.
Yeah, what do you think for Comic-Con in 2023? Do you think it was lighter this year because of that, and do you think it'll
I
be?
would say, yeah. That the show this year was interesting in that, for those that have been going and are accustomed to how the hall floor is. Don't get me wrong, the hall floor was busy and it was packed, but it wasn't a case of trying to wedge between, tons of people to get to a certain place. Like, you still had, even though it was crowded, you had enough space to actually walk the floor. if that makes any sense. You weren't wedged inches between people. There was still a good like arm's length distance between you and other people as you were walking the floor. So like I would say percentage wise, probably I could say maybe 75% maybe capacity. It felt like it was still full, but it wasn't as full as I've known it to be. I don't know if that felt that way for you.
Yeah, I was really interested that there was never a like a small badge sale, because like figure over 2 years, maybe some people took the advantage of special edition. Like I'm surprised like no tickets opened back up, because there must have been like, I don't know, maybe there was 10% of tickets and they just said it's
But
not
perhaps some
worth
people were
it.
turned away. I believe I heard that based off of like the new policy of making sure you were verified with your with your immunization card.
Yeah.
So that could have played a role too.
And I wonder if those people were kind of, just didn't come and didn't worry about their badge, or purposely, kept it just to be a part of this sale today.
Yeah, yeah. Like
My
I want to say there were some cases. If I'm not mistaken, I have no, and I'll look it up for you guys afterwards. I believe folks, there were some instances where folks came and they had been turned away because they didn't have what they needed to be able to verify that they were good to go. And then, just like you said, I want to say there were some cases where up to the last minute, people just made the decision. You know what? I'm not willing to, take that risk, and I'll just hold out for another year. Even though they kind of had to eat it basically with having bought and purchased a ticket, because after a certain period, like it's kind of null and void at that point.
That's what my sister didn't come this past year because she was 7 months pregnant. So not she could fly, but she couldn't Comic-Con. It's a whole different kind of vacation.
Yeah, for sure.
But she kept the tickets for today. You don't want to feel like you miss it 1 year and you never know with the general sale.
For sure.
All right. I've got one in Queue It.
All right, here we go.
Event will begin at 10. Uh-oh.
Okay, and it looks like mines have queued in as well. So there we go.
Interesting. I'm trying to do somebody else's member ID on a different device, and it's taken me right to the
Queue it page.
Queue It page without having logged into the different member ID.
Yeah, and I've noticed that on mine too, with one of the ones that I had open.
So I don't know if
that begs the question: will it allow you to go in and log in first for that said one that was still loading.
Right. Is it, you can get to this page without having logged in at all? Or is it, just doing one per IP address?
Correct. Yeah.
Let's test that out.
Okay, I'm going to be muted for a moment, guys, just so I can be in communication with members of my group. So I will be right back.
I'm just checking my trying to figure out whether or not I'm in for multiple people. I will. If anyone else is also trying to do that, let us know. Seeing posts online of people missing the blue circle, people missing the mailing in your Comic-Con registration.
Yeah, yeah. The messages and things that they came up
Yeah.
with, they were entertaining.
All right, so I'm getting other people hearing that it took them right to the queue without having to log in.
Yeah,
So
which
I
is
think,
interesting. So my guess is maybe in the timed queue that you have in order to buy the badge, perhaps that they're going to give you the opportunity to log in first before you buy it. If that was the case for you, so we'll see.
I feel like that's how this queue it system has worked for other stuff.
So we'll see. No, because I mean, like before, you had already, if I recall, had to already have done that. So
Right. Yeah, because am I remembering correctly that the hotel sale is usually a you don't log in until after you've gotten through the queue?
you said for the hotel sale?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for that is a good question. If how they're going to be doing that, I haven't really kept track of the hotel itself, of how they're going to kind of finagle that because that's been, I know even in the past that's been a little chaotic. So
Well, just remembering from past years, I feel like that system is closer to what they're using for this, so it might mimic it a little bit as far as when the login occurs.
yeah, All right, yeah. So guys, just doing last minute queue up with the groups. I'm sure you guys are doing the same. Those of you out there watching, like as I said, just make sure double check your information and make sure everything is good. So that way you're not scrambling to have it ready to go when the time comes.
10 minutes to go.
Yep.
Probably. Yeah, good note about sleep room on the waiting room page there. Not that we're going anywhere. Or sleep mode on the computer.
All right, I'm gonna go off for a moment and I will make it right back.
All right.
You have the floor, sir, till that time.
Okay, I'm just double checking all my passwords and credit card information. Didn't leave it at a bar this time. Yeah, for all the struggles and anxiety today, it's still better than the general sale, which whenever someone of the returning registration group does not get a ticket today, that's when it's kind of like, all right, here we go. Um, benefit of that is we have a much larger group trying to get general because anybody can try that, and we've got a lot of people who have never been to Comic-Con that are hopefully maybe next year will be their year. But definitely a lot more people trying to get. I don't know about fewer tickets. I don't know how they do the split, but I'm glad this is happening today since we all already blocked it off. I do also wonder about Comic-Con's choice to make the sale kind of a surprise almost. You get a week's notice, which um, it's interesting. It's a surprise they don't just say, "Hey, the general sale is in 1 month." It's November 16th. Plan accordingly. Yeah, so I'd be interested to know the logic on that. 3 minutes to go. Two minutes to go, and several of my friends are still unresponsive. The extra hour wait might have Brandon might have been right about it causing some people to just say screw it, which I don't think that's the case, but here's hoping everybody's in. All right, so now we get to see, is it going to be the walking green man? It is. I still prefer the spinning blue circle, but this guy's all right. Okay. So we're getting expected arrival times on the website. I'm getting more than an hour. I don't know about all you. Oh. Now we can just lean back and play the waiting game. At least the system does give you some kind of progress bar.
All right, sorry about that, guys. I am back. I know there's we had an update since then with our status. Is there
Yeah,
anything else in that time, the brief moments that I was away?
we got some green men walking.
All righty.
All mine are looking at expected arrival time of more than an hour.
So again, going back to what I was saying of time, we're now looking at potentially 2 hours, I guess you can say, from the time that we originally planned to already have purchased badges or already be in the midst of getting badges purchased.
Seeing some people on Twitter. It looks like some people are making it in.
Okay.
Most people are looking at an hour plus. Although I guess the people that are in aren't going to be tweeting for a couple minutes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, most of my people are an hour out. I know I see some people who are actually 25 minutes out. So,
Hey. All right, I got one that has gone down to 57 minutes. So,
okay, so my guess is this kind of similar to what happened during a special edition is you can't go by what the time is. It looks like you're just gonna have to power through because based on how long that's kind of like a relative time and not the actual time as is based on how quickly people are able to get through their purchases. It's gonna update your ETA substantially because basically you're gonna have batches of people that are getting through all at once. So it's gonna, speed up that ETA that you currently have. It looks like.
so you're thinking the current estimates are kind of based on everyone gets 10 minutes to go through, but nobody's really taking 10 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm getting some notifications from people. They are now at 16. Yeah, and the line is speeding up. That walking the green walking guy is speeding up.
Yeah. But yeah, even if it's not super accurate, it's nice to have something.
Yes.
The spinning
Yes.
blue circle was not very
Helpful at all.
yeah. 15 minutes to complete your badge purchase.
See?
Waiting room slowly moving people to registration. And I wouldn't be surprised if they are moving slower than they had even planned, given their morning.
Yeah. But it's still interesting though because we do have folks who didn't even log in and they were passed right through. So that begs the question: is Comic-Con basically just bypassing that just as a way to just troubleshoot the issue just and under these temporary circumstances, or if you are in fact going to be passed along to the regular dashboard page um, before actually purchasing your badge for your account?
That's what I saw a notice that after you make it through to purchase, you'll have to enter your ID and password.
Yeah. Okay.
Which it does sound like it's some kind of workaround. Like that's not how they initially
Had planned to do
described
it,
it.
but just
Yeah.
to bypass the issue for this circumstance, they're just
Yeah.
allowing you to do that.
I wonder if that was it wasn't necessarily, a queuing issue. It was everyone trying to log into their member IDs at the same time.
And I guarantee you too, overloading the system because I promise you, everyone doesn't remember their password. A lot of people are probably doing forget password, and to
Yep.
overload the system like that with requests for forgotten passwords, I'm sure they overloaded the system.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, friends of Comic-Con making a good point on Twitter of they usually open the gate slowly and then ramp up as progress is being made. So they may start letting more and more people in as the time goes.
So while we're waiting, I know it's still early days, but is there anything that you are anticipating or looking forward to potentially having be a part of the upcoming show with the stuff that we have coming up in the coming year?
Yeah, let's look at the new movie slate here. February. Let's see. So just doing the Marvel release dates. Looks like Captain America, New World Order could be one to show some stuff of.
Okay, so we have, I mean, if anyone is aware of the villain that they have, release for that, yeah, who they revealed for that film, I will put, I tell you what, I'll put a big disclaimer up because maybe some of you don't want to know. But I guess I'll start it right now. I won't put the disclaimer up, but it's been revealed that the leader will be the villain of that film, which is interesting to have a Hulk villain as the the villain of a Captain America movie. But hey,
That's what I was also seeing, that Harrison Ford might be in it as Thunderbolt Ross. So
yeah,
like,
so maybe they're connecting it that way to kind of bridge the gap. Because I mean, ever since what the ever since I guess you can say since Winter Soldier, honestly, we've always had films where they've made every single movie a mini Avengers movie. Like there has never been up since that time. It feels like been a movie where it's solely been one person. It's always someone popping up or teaming up with them somehow. And I mean, I
yeah,
get
other
it.
than the like origin stories, but any sequels have been.
Yeah, have been some type of duo. So perhaps they'll throw Hulk in there, and they just haven't announced it yet. We'll see. Or maybe they'll throw maybe they'll throw Jennifer Walters in there because she has that whole thing with Captain America. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but I mean Steve isn't in it, so I don't know. So maybe not. Um, but I mean, it would be an interesting way to kind of explore that side of the MCU. I mean, within what they've done with the MCU so far, they have, you know, established that connection between with Rogers and with Banner because of what created the Hulk in the MCU, was that attempt to, you know, redo the formula that created Captain America. So it makes sense. It's just interesting path to take, I guess I would say.
Yeah, it could. I mean, it's probably going to be a pretty awesome movie. I hope it doesn't become, World War Hulk featuring Captain America, because like,
Yeah,
especially like this is kind of his like first solo movie. Like, I mean, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I guess, was his like intro as Captain America, but this is kind of his first movie to establish his own rogues gallery and whatnot.
yeah, yeah.
And I think Isaiah Bradley's going to be in it as well.
You know what? I believe you're right. Yep, yep. So that would be an interesting, you know, dynamic to have all of them paired up against, if indeed that is the way they're going. On paper, it seems that way of them going up against Red Hulk.
And yeah, it seems like this will probably be the closest lead into Thunderbolts.
Yeah, yeah. Because maybe if I were a betting man, that, you know, obviously Red Hulk is defeated, and in his, you know, kind of wallowing in his cell, he gets a visit and is asked to join, you know, that team to redeem himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Red Hulk's a great character. Harrison Ford's a good choice.
And it's crazy too, because I'll be honest with you, I like on pay it makes perfect sense, but like you know, with the unfortunate passing of, you know, William Hurt, who was a great Ross, you know, I was like, okay, are they just going to go a different way? Like I didn't even like, you know, picture that we could have, you know, Harrison Ford take over, you know, that role. I was like, oh, well, yeah, of course, but it's perfect. But at the time, it was like, okay, who's going to be able to replace Hurt? Because like that is a, you know, quite a presence that we've had, you know, in the MCU thus far. You have to have someone who has that same level of gravitas or presence to you know, take on that mantle. So
yeah, when they brought him back for Civil War, that was like, yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah,
They're really redeeming Incredible Hulk.
let's hope. Let's hope. It looks good so far, but let's hope. All right, so a lot of people are being queued up even sooner, where they are falling within the 5 minutes.
Yeah, have you seen She-Hulk yet with the Abomination?
Yes, yeah, and I've seen I don't want to spoil it for anyone who is not caught up. There are other things that are revealed, that have implications to what we were talking about in a major way, but I don't want to give it away. So, if you guys aren't caught up on She-Hulk, I definitely, you know, recommend you guys check it out. But yeah, it'll like I said, with what that has introduced or revealed to us, along with what we know about Captain America 4 and beyond, it'll be interesting to see where things go. Because I'll just say that they have some chess pieces in play. So
Yeah, it is interesting because the Hulk. I won't say Hulk family. I'll say the Hulk brand. Has been really getting expanded, and the super soldier concept is really expanded, and they are related in the MCU.
And as we know, when it comes to super soldiers, you know what's not that far behind, and that's Wolverine. So I just had my fingers crossed that everything comes together for what is it for Blade?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. I am interested because they obviously shifted around a bunch of release dates like this week, last week. So I'm interested if that was just, pretty much every time they have to push something, they do this, or if this is indicating that Blade is more integral to some of those later movies where I know the whole thing's a big jigsaw puzzle where once you move anything.
Yeah, exactly. So who's to say, but yeah, it's always fascinating how like one puzzle piece, as you said, or one domino, basically is can have a drastic ripple effect among the other pieces, other projects. So even looking back on what we've had thus far, Madam Hydra, she was supposed to appear far earlier than when we got her. So they had to kind of shuffle a lot of things around to still make that storyline make sense with her appearing in Falcon and Winter Soldier at the end. Because from what I understand, like I believe she was supposed to appear in Black Widow first. We were supposed to get that scene first before we got Falcon and Winter Soldier. So they kind of had to finagle it around to still have it make sense, that through line of her, starting to assemble, a lot of these players. So
yeah, I think it kind of worked better that way because then that made the Black Widow came second. Because otherwise, that like the character was introduced, you knew who she was, you knew kind of like, all right, she's putting a team together. Like, had Black Widow come first, you don't really get a lot of context on who she is.
Okay. Hold on. So it looks like we got an update. So, okay, one of my folks got their all the days in preview night. All right, so we have one in.
Nice. Preview night is, and they just recently got in?
Yeah, as they just sent the message, I guess they got in and they sent it after they finished. So that was about, literally 1 minute ago.
Nice. So yeah, preview night is still available. And they usually update that on the little yellow circle anyway, or the yellow square, but
right.
Good to know.
Okay, so yeah, it says when it is your turn, you have 10 minutes to enter the site. Your time may fluctuate based on how quickly ahead of you or people have moved. Yeah, that we know.
This is an interesting from the unofficial blog. If the page not found page comes up, try clicking on login and it may proceed to your purchase options. So sounds like some people are getting a page not found once they get through the queue.
Gotcha.
So don't freak out.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to go mute for a moment. Punt it over to you, Tim.
All right. All right, let's keep talking about what Marvel could bring. We'll talk this one to death first. So The Marvels is going to be coming out the week after Comic-Con. That'll be interesting if they do anything for that. I feel like in years, I feel like there was one year where they had an August release that they didn't really push much on because, I mean, at that point you're putting trailers out, you're doing like you're not really going to be having anything crazy to show, like new stuff for the Comic-Con audience. We got some Daredevil, which if you've seen She-Hulk, get hyped about that. Thunderbolts in summer 20. Yeah, they'll probably have some Thunderbolt stuff to show. I wouldn't be surprised. And then I bet there's some more of those special Marvel special presentations, like they just did Werewolf by Night, which was awesome. They're doing the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special this Christmas, which we've surprisingly gotten nothing on. But it sounds like they're going to be doing more special presentations, which is really cool and a cool way to, like, just a quick hour of, maybe throw something in Wakanda. Or I heard Nova might be moved to a special presentation, which seems like it would need a big budget for a special presentation. But I mean, if Guardians of the Galaxy, we'll see what they do for a Christmas special. I'm assuming that's going to be cosmic. Moving on to Warner Brothers. The Flash will be out a month before that, but I feel pretty confident that they're not going to bring anything for that again. Hopefully they do a big push for Blue Beetle. It's currently August 18th next year. I mean, all these DC dates are, it feels like they're super in flux. But that one, cautious optimism. I bet they hype up Dune Part 2 October next year. I'm sure it would have had a big push if they were able to. In the 20 or 21, that probably would have been. They probably would have brought that a lot of stuff for that for Comic-Con had they been able to. Aquaman's all the way to December 2023 now. That's unfortunate. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Uh-oh. My queue just went back up to estimated wait time more than an hour. From 30 minutes to more than an hour. That is weird. My walking man's still halfway through. So hopefully that is super inaccurate. So we had another message from Comic-Con. Due to Q8's shopping cart feature, some people may be selected and find that badge inventory is unavailable. This means that all available badges are in other members' carts. I guess they're just saying some stuff might be sold out. And it sounds like preview night is pretty much done. Okay, so seems like everyone's time just went up. You're not alone. Sounds like they're letting people in slower so that everyone sees the same inventory until it's actually sold out. So they're kind of dealing with that issue that people were just seeing of not seeing specific days available for purchase, even though maybe they're not technically sold out yet. So good news, didn't lose a place in line. Bad news, that extra half hour tacked on might actually be accurate.
All right, I was just assisting someone just now. It looks like Thursday through Sunday is still available, guys, from what they told me.
And is that you're hearing preview nights gone?
Yeah, preview night is gone.
Yeah.
right. How are you doing on your status? I'm still at the 10-minute mark.
Oh, nice. I got jacked up to an hour, and now I'm down to 52 minutes.
Okay.
So did your times didn't change? You were at 10 minutes?
Yeah, so it jacked up a little bit up to like 25 minutes, and then
Okay.
it went back down to 10.
Oh, beautiful.
Let me let people know now that they should be able to get in. And then one thing that I will share, guys, if this is your first time being a returning badge member, just know that if you don't get all of your days, don't panic, because typically the way that it works is at least how it was in the past, is that whatever days you have purchased will be grayed out if you participate in the open registration, and the days that you haven't purchased will still be available for your profile. So you can still fill out the other days that you didn't get in this sale, is what I'm saying.
That's what's nice about this one. There's always hope on the next one.
And the thing that's nice about that is that say if you only missed out on one day, you can get through that relatively quickly if you just have the one day that you have left. So you don't have to worry about it like selling out in the process, because I've heard that happen, where it can no longer be available and you're in the time that you're spending in your queue to select it. Or if you're waiting for someone else if you're scrambling to get someone else's information, like what is the last name, what is the ID, and then that time is gone.
Mm-hmm.
How's everyone doing within the group that you have? Any updates with the folks with you?
No one in yet. Fortunately, my 45-minute estimation might be the lead sled dog over here. Luckily, only half of the returning registration people go for all 4 days. The rest of the group just gets like one ticket, whatever they can get, and like enjoys a little bit of
Okay.
con, and
Yeah, that's
then
good.
just is in San Diego for a week.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And yeah, I have a couple of people too where, because they're not newbies to Comic-Con, they absolutely know what days they don't want to miss, so they only look for those days. Like I have one person that they only do Friday and Saturday because they want to specifically go to those Hall H panels. And that's it. The rest of it, they'll just, hang out in San Diego. And like you said, they're good to go. So
Yeah. That's what I think. I've only had the option like less than half the time, but I never get a preview night badge because I'm not, I don't really do exclusives, and like there's always an hour or two to check out the show floor
yeah,
throughout
yeah,
the week.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, there's so many, which I think is another reason why I have some folks who don't do the whole show, is there's so many things that you can do without a badge with the activations and things that can be just as fun. That they're like, okay, why am I going to pay to in essence go into the convention center when I can still do Comic-Con and not physically go in the convention center that day.
Yeah.
Or they'll know, they're like, oh, maybe in the past year, like, gosh, I didn't even spend any time in the convention center yet I paid for that day. So
yeah, our first year, my sisters only got Thursday, Sunday, and this was back when Conan was still doing shows, so they
oh
saw a
wow,
Conan
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
got
sure,
into Nerd HQ. Like they
okay.
basically had more Comic-Con than the ones with the 4-day badges.
And then like even when they do like some of the like screenings and events and things, if I recall, like I want to say you could have still participated in that. Like, you guys can let me know in the comments. I forgot because I did go, but I can't remember if you needed the badge to go. I feel like if you won the contest, you were still able to go, and that was, I can't remember. I want to say it was 2016 when they did the Star Trek Into Darkness
Yeah.
screening or premiere, and I think you had to like do a contest where it was like a raffle. You had to put your hand in a box or something and select the right ticket. Now that I say that, I think you did, at least for that, had to have the badge to at least participate. But I know that there were other screenings too, where it was affiliated with Comic-Con, but it wasn't necessary to have a badge. Like, this was it was 2011 when they had Captain America, the First Avenger. And I'll give you a picture of how long ago this was, guys, whether you live in San Diego or whether you've been going to Comic-Con for a while, because it doesn't exist anymore. It was at Horton Plaza. It was at the United Artists Theater on that top floor at Horton Plaza. And which, to my shock, going this past year, they basically tore that whole mall down, which is unfortunate because like it's a staple. I felt like of my experience of going to Comic-Con past years, so it's too bad.
Yeah,
I mean, you still have a couple of staples that are there now. Because if anyone knows me, I'm big when it comes to food and different restaurants and trying different places, and in that time of having kind of go-to spots. So I don't know if you've been, Tim, but Richard Walker's Pancake House, I always I'm big on that place. They're really good. And Micho's is really awesome too. If any of you guys like tacos out there, like gourmet tacos, are really good. But now I think about it, actually, I want to say, because that was disappointing, is that I don't think Micho's is around anymore. So I guess Richard Walker is the only one around now.
Yeah, I'll have to try to get there. I haven't had breakfast. Is the toughest meal to get out there.
Yeah.
When you're
I was gonna say, and then you're absolutely right, which is why like typically the routine is going that Tuesday. But I don't think you normally arrive that early?
I've been going Tuesday the past couple of years.
Okay.
And it's nice to be able to just get a little bit of San Diego. We went out to Coronado Beach this year. There's a lot that 6-7 years at Comic-Con, I have not seen all of San Diego yet.
I know, that's weird, right? Like I just recently, and that's only I'll credit the group that I came with from back home that it was their first year, and that was the only year that I managed to go. Is the San Diego Zoo. If you guys ever managed to find time to do that, go, because it's quite impressive. I only went. It was the year just before the first canceled Comic Con in 2020. So it was 2019, and I managed to go because we went the last couple of years. Like I've made it my routine to go early to Comic Con, or say go early to San Diego, because once you're in the show or once you're going to that show, it's really hard to do much else. So I try to go at the top of the week, so that way I have two full days of like non-Comic-Con stuff to do San Diego stuff. And so we did it, even though that being said, we did it Wednesday during the day because they didn't really open up the floor until that afternoon for preview night. Yep. So I went right from the zoo to that. But yeah, no, if you guys have never been, I highly recommend you guys check it out. I still haven't been to SeaWorld yet, and I've been going to Comic-Con, as I said, since 2009, so over a decade, and I still haven't been to SeaWorld yet, so that I still need to do that.
Yeah, that was on the list for this year that we never got there. It's just like Comic-Con, try to do way too much and be happy you got anything.
Right. But I mean, like you were saying with the beach, though, another place that I would recommend if you haven't gone, Tim, or any of those of you that haven't gone out there is La Jolla. La Jolla, I want to say, is it La Jolla Beach? Not La Jolla Beach. I want to say it's La Jolla. I guess that one is La Jolla Cove. But it's quite impressive.
That's what I'd like to do. Some of the, like, I know there's some great hiking around there. I know they got it's not the botanical gardens, is it? Is that the cactus one?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm brain farting on the name, but yeah, that sounds right.
But it always moves down the list because I'm like, I'm about to spend the next 4 days on my feet. Maybe not today.
Yeah. And I didn't even mention this, guys. Tim is a big cosplayer, so he's had some super impressive cosplays, whether it's like Cable or Doom. And I know 1 year you did Beastman, and I know you were talking about how hot that was to be in that fursuit. So
yeah, that was a rough year. I had a couple ice packs built into the suit that time.
So let me get an update with. So one of the folks, they were letting me know that they still have an hour waiting on theirs. I want to say that's pretty much across the board. But again, like for those of you that are seeing, these updates with the time, just know that it is not indicative of the actual time that you will wait. It may fluctuate up and down. It's not really reflective of how long you really will wait. You may get right in, or you may wait a little longer.
Yeah, my time has gone down by 15 minutes in the past 5 minutes.
Okay.
So you were at 10 minutes to, how's yours looking?
Let me see if I can. 35.
Huh.
Bump back up again. And I have one that's still been steady at an hour. The phone has been steady at an hour. It hasn't moved. So, hey, my phone may actually, yet again, come through in the clutch. All right, so let me check in with some members of the group, and I will be back on.
Sounds good. I'm going through the list now. There's so many movies that had at one point 2024 release dates that are just. No, I don't think we're going to get Sherlock Holmes 3 in 2024. Fantastic Beasts probably won't be there next year. The untitled Margot Robbie Ocean's 11 movie. She's snagging a couple of franchises. I don't know if her untitled Pirates of the Caribbean movie will be there. Edge of Tomorrow 2. Someday.
All right, so it looks like folks have still been, held at their times. So I've just been given a notification to folks to, just be patient and just be ready because it may update, substantially from an hour. Yeah, and it looks like right now I'm still stuck at 35.
Huh. Yeah, mine are moving closer to that like original estimation, which is nice.
Okay.
Like I started to be less than an hour, probably around like 10, 15 minutes in, and now I'm looking at 12 minutes left. So
Oh, good.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, the phone is still at an hour, but we'll see if that ends up jumping ahead of the other one that I have. So as we're waiting for this, guys, I guess one other thing that we could probably talk about briefly is just I know you were talking about the hotel, the lodging situation. So I would say with that, guys, just be cognizant of if you are selecting, a place to stay outside of those hotels that are working, with San Diego Comic-Con, just to be aware that you're going to be dealing with a lot of blackout dates if you have any type of point systems that you utilize with your travel, and that there's a lot of surcharges that go into play because a lot of I feel like unfairly so, but it is what it is that a lot of places are aware of what week it is, and so it gets surcharged substantially that week. if you're staying anywhere within like walking distance of the convention center. So just be aware of that, and just to plan accordingly, because you may have to, while it's nice to have a place in downtown, it may not be possible, if you're relying upon, a lot of the systems or things that we have in place whenever we're traveling with, different points that you're earning with different places, or deals that you have, with certain chains, certain hotel chains. So just be aware.
Yeah, and we actually had pretty good luck last year. We didn't get anything in the original hotel sale, and then there's a ton of stuff that gets released like
Yeah,
a week later.
there's that too.
There's a
Yeah.
ton of stuff that gets released a week after that. So we ended up finding something less than a mile away through the hotel sale, which was
Oh, nice, nice.
miles walking distance.
Okay. Was it in Gaslamp, or was it like really on the outskirts of Gaslamp?
It was Bayfront,
Or
so
like,
it was like
okay,
like 0.7 miles down. So it was like right in
not
front of
bad.
the what is it, the Indianapolis there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, it worked out great.
And then I was gonna say, additionally, guys, also be, prepared in terms of, in the years of going, uh, um, making sure that you are planning, your day accordingly. It sounds like a silly thing, but like making sure you eat, making sure, you take care of the things that you need to take care of to, function as a person. Sometimes, you get so caught up in the excitement of Comic-Con that you lose sight of that. And so, I know, in being prepared to, that eating piece, it is, I would say that grocery stores are your best friend. Make sure that you stock up from grocery stores. You do not want to have to, come to a situation where, because you didn't eat all day and you're starving, that you settle to, pay an exorbitant amount of money at the convention center to get food, or you're eating out every day, because it'll start to add up. So just, I would say, with that too, plan accordingly with that, and um, packing and having, snacks available to you throughout the day, because especially if you're going to be in Hall H or doing any panels all day, that's a long day to not, eat until you actually leave. So
That's what another thing nice about going a day early is we always go to Ralph's, which
yes,
is walking distance from pretty much anywhere in the Gaslamp, any hotel. And yeah, you got, sandwiches and snacks for the day, and you don't have to buy $20 nachos.
exactly.
And on the cosplay front, I always like plan that very early in my process of like, all right, here's my cosplay. Where's the bag gonna be? Because I've had some that it's just like, people wearing like a skin tight leotard, and it's like, all right, so you're not gonna eat or drink all day.
Okay, so it looks like Friday is running low. I'm gonna take a look. I believe that's been the update that has been given. So that may affect the getting these updates are always interesting too, because what normally happens, and again, I'll stress that they're two sales guys, but what will normally happen is, someone will see that a certain day is not available all of a sudden, and then like that wait time just like shrinks monumentally. So I would say, even if you only get one day, guys, make sure you get that one day, so that way you don't have to worry about getting that day if you participate in the open reg. Like, say if you want to get Saturday, it's okay. Like, just get Saturday, and then you can get the other days, because then you'll know that you'll be able to, get through the queue to purchase those remaining days more than likely a lot faster than you otherwise would if you had to get all of those days.
Yeah, another tip for when you don't have all days. One of my friends just gets one badge because, and I don't know if this is the policy or what, I don't, not getting him in trouble, but the game section, like as long as you have a badge, maybe they're not looking at it. Like there's no tap in and tap out of like the board games, the Magic tournaments, the Dungeons and Dragons. So that's something.
So yes, I'm looking at the Twitter right now. It says Friday inventory is running low. So just be aware of that, guys, that if you get in that queue right now in this moment, make sure you are ready, so that way, like, it doesn't, run out and while you're in that queue, because that would really be a bummer for you if that happened. So just make sure you're ready to go if you're starting to find that you're getting in, or if you're in a purchase group, people are getting in.
All right, I am in.
All right. So go ahead. I'll let you mute yourself. I'll mute you. I got you.
Oh.
All right. So while Tim is taking care of that, I wanted to be able to share the Twitter page right now, just to guys give you an update of the status that you guys can check out on Comic-Con's Twitter. See if I can get that up. Yes, here we go. So right now, as it stands, it looks like that day is currently that Friday is currently running low. But if you are well versed with Comic-Con, you know that there are awesome things that you can get on Friday or Saturday. So just be aware of that. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. And I know you only allotted, I can talk today, I allotted 10 minutes to be able to do your sales. So keep that in mind as well, guys. And this was shared with me too, is that as you are going through the sale, if you haven't logged in, like say if you were brought right into the queue, and you didn't have an opportunity to log in, make sure you're ready to do that, because you're gonna have to do that step first before you even start the actual put in the actual purchase information or PI information. Okay. So I'm gonna continue to keep an eye on what we're getting. Okay, and we're also getting that Saturday inventory is running low as well. So keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are just honing in on those specific days, just be cognizant of that. And again, like if you don't get those days, it's perfectly fine. My suggestion, go ahead and get those remaining days that you are able to get, and then you can participate again in the open registration to go after those days that you didn't get in this initial return badge registration. Just let me know once you're ready, Tim. We'll have him come back on. We can, share how it went with him. But in the meantime, kind of jumping off of what we were discussing before about not only lodging, being prepared with, food. And then I've had him on the show. It's a bummer. I was going to try to get him on this year. maybe we'll try to make it happen next year is Jeff Mueller. If you guys know him as Mighty Jerd, what's up, Jeff? Just the idea of fitness as well. It seems like a pretty mundane thing that to go to Comic-Con, you have to have a level of fitness, or I should say, it's helpful to have a level of fitness, and that's very true because just as Tim was saying, just a moment ago, there's quite a deal of walking and lugging things around throughout your time during that week of Comic-Con. So it's so helpful, and it's very important to make sure that you are ready to go once that week comes. So like I know I always give the advice to a lot of people, if maybe you maybe if there are instances that you are able to walk to certain places versus driving there, just to kind of, get your body acclimated to walking there, that's a good, litmus test or practice of, the walking or the steps that you're going to be taking once Comic-Con week comes around. So, if there's a place that, you can get to driving in 5 minutes, but walking, you can get there in maybe 15 or 20 minutes, start walking, a little more often, in the maybe perhaps a few months before the show starts. So that way, your body is acclimated to that amount of, of walking. Because trust me, you're going to be doing a lot of it. If you haven't biked in a while, if you have a bike, if there's some places that you can bike instead of, riding, driving a car, by all means, I would say, ride your bicycle to some places that you otherwise could drive to, because that's that can also get your endurance up and help once that time of Comic-Con comes around. And then of course this goes without saying, making sure you're hydrated too. So making sure you are properly hydrated during that week, because while San Diego can get somewhat cool, in the early mornings and in the late evenings, a lot of oftentimes during that day it can get pretty hot. So making sure that you are well hydrated, and then as I said, in the weeks leading up to that, that you have use opportunities to be able to walk a little more, so that way you're good to go when the time comes of walking from destination A to destination B, because as me and Tim were talking about before, of how much square footage is used for the show, be it the convention center, the hotels, the Manchester Grand Hyatt, the Marriott Marquis, the Hilton Bayfront, or the Omni, those other surrounding hotels, and then even the surrounding areas beyond that, because oftentimes, you'll have, as I was saying, those pop-ups or those activations, if you will, that may not be directly across the street from the convention center or next to the convention center. They may be, maybe a 5 or 10 minute walk beyond that. So it's it can be very helpful to be prepared in that way. So let me check. Looks like I'm getting some reach out from folks in my group. So I'm going to mute myself for a second. So hold on. All right, and so it looks like there have been some updates with folks that I have. It looks like one person has had theirs bumped down to 50, and the other has had theirs bumped down, to less than 20 minutes. So stay diligent, guys. It looks like it's moving, but just so you're aware, it looks like we do have an update on the badges themselves. I'm gonna update what we have here on the Twitter page to see how we're looking with Friday and Saturday. And yes, it looks like Saturday badges have sold out. So my guess is a lot of people now that certain days are selling out, they're going after individual days. So Saturday is gone, but Friday is still available, even though the inventory is low for it currently. But it is still available. So that makes me picture that we have Thursday, Friday, and Sunday still out there. Cool. Looks like we're good to go. Tim, talk to us. How did it go?
All right, went good. Everyone, I ended up getting in twice with 2 different IDs, so I got my whole group done and done.
Nice. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, different system in there.
Yes. Yeah, indeed. And I'm assuming because had you already logged in before the queue came up?
One of them I had already logged in before the queue, but it still prompted me to log in. So
Okay, so it doesn't matter either way.
it doesn't matter, and it's it'll give you the option to like, so you've got it'll once you log in, it identifies you, and you add all your badges to cart, and then you find the next person you're trying to buy for, add all their badges to cart, and so on.
Gotcha.
And then check out once you got your 3.
Gotcha.
And yeah, you just, like always, you just need the member ID and last name for the people you're buying for.
Yep.
And I had already put my payment info into my member ID portal earlier this week, so that was like, that part was done, which was nice. That went really smoothly.
Nice. So I think I already updated. We had some people in the group. One is at just under an hour, and another one is just inside the 20-minute mark. And as I said, guys, even as these days are leaving, I'll remind you again, still try to get whatever days you're able to get. So that way, should there be any days that you still need to get, it's not as long as a process. It'll be a really quick process of you just purchasing those said days that you didn't get the first go around.
Yeah, so now for my group, our general sale will be focused on the people that almost never come.
Okay, gotcha.
Which will be, 2020 was actually supposed to be our biggest year ever. We had like 8 or 9 people going, and then like, the world
yeah.
they couldn't keep going
After
for
that, yeah,
2022. So
yeah, that's what I had happen among our group, that we had some folks that it would have been their first Comic Con for 2020, and even though the badge was able to transfer to the most recent show this year, a whole bunch of life events happened in that time where like it wasn't something that was doable for them, so it was unfortunate.
yeah, what percent of your group have made it through so far?
So let's see, we have I want to say about 33% have gotten through so far with everything.
Yeah. At the hour and 20 mark.
Wasn't that the one you said that was at an hour? Did it bump up to 120?
No, I would just say we're currently at an hour and 20.
Oh, gotcha.
I do still have my third one open. 10-minute wait time if you'd like it.
Okay, so this is weird. It still says an hour, but the cursor has moved forward. So maybe that means that you'll just see a huge jump for those of you that are seeing that, because as I said, the actual icon has moved over. The time hasn't changed, but the icon has.
Yeah, I trust the walking man more than the time estimate.
Yes, indeed.
That one at least is not moving back and forth.
Yeah.
Yep, got the Friday badges have sold out. Thursday and Sunday available.
Yep. So it just means that, should people get in, buy the Thursday and Sunday badges, and then open registration, just buy Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there may be, some skeptics out there like, oh, really? Like, it's not. I've seen it happen where I've even seen it happen where a person only managed to get one day in their returning registration and then open reg. They were one of the first to get through, and they were able to wrap up all the other remaining 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they were good to go.
Yep.
So I've seen it happen. All right, so I have one person that's 38 minutes out, and one person that is only a couple of minutes out.
And this year, this will be the first year we're bringing two kids, my nephew and my friend's son.
Okay.
The Comic-Con's child badge policy is phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
No registration needed. Just bring one parent with a valid badge, and you get the child badge for free until they're 12.
Yeah. I would like to hear the stories of those for any of those that are out there that have been bringing their kids of finally crossing over that age requirement and having that start paying for a badge. I really find that fascinating for any of you out there that see this.
Yeah, because that jacks up the price of your family vacation considerably.
Right. Yeah.
Well, the youth badges, what do those go up to? Are they like half price from 13 to?
I'll be honest with you, I forgot because like I've had folks that have still managed to bypass that based on age.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm guessing I'll probably get an update. Let me check. Oh, let's see if it's updated. See if it's telling the hour. Like I said, the cursor has moved, but the time given has not. Yeah, no, it's still in the same spot. All right, so let me see where we stand on the days. See if we have any days that are running low. So as I said, Friday is sold out as of 7 minutes ago. Thursday and Sunday are still available, and I haven't seen any updated message saying, "Up, something." See, it sounds like one got in.
Yeah, that's I mean, all our badges are bought, so that
Cool.
one's
All right, so let me take a look here. Okay, I got Thursday. This on Sunday for Michael. All right, awesome. Okay, so it looks like I have an update on my end. We had someone who was able to get badges for the rest of the folks, well, not the rest of one of the other section of or subsection that I have in my group. They were able to get badges for themselves and for the two other people. So at least for the days that are available now, they were able to cover them. So any days that they didn't get, you can still give it another shot at open reg, but at least you were able to get some of the days there.
yeah.
Now I just need to check on one other subgroup to see how they're doing. I'm gonna mute myself for a moment, see where they stand, and then I will be back.
All right. And it's been so long since I've actually purchased badges, but I believe the prices are the same as they were when we bought in 2019. It was 75 for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and 50 for Sunday, with a $10 handling fee per person. Excuse me, everyone.
All right, I'm back, guys. So it looks like everything. I guess everyone was on top of it. Like the other subgroups, like because they were kind of like in the midst of getting getting in the queue, they got through and they got the days that they needed. One thing that they did bring up though, which is something to bring up for those of you that are still um, uh, interested is that apparently, I guess if you were getting a badge with preview night, it wasn't going to allow you to participate. It looks like in the open registration, like you had to do the 4 days without preview night if you were planning on participating. So, like, say if you're going with a group and you still want to help some folks get badges, it would be possible if you had it without preview night versus a badge that you had with preview night, which makes sense.
That explains because I was remembering participating in the general sale after kind of being all set myself.
Right.
So that would be I usually don't get preview night to keep that. Just another happy bonus of that.
Yes. So it looks like everyone in the group, that my SIG group, are good to go. And I know you said yours is good to go, so I feel like this is a good place to cap it off. I know that we still have. Let me just take a look at where things stand. I know Sunday and I suppose Thursday are still available. Let me just update that now. Um, Let me just double check. Oh, Thursday is gone. So yeah, and here's the thing. This is what I'm talking about with a purchase group is that I still have, believe it or not, people have used up some of their slots, and I still have people in my group saying, "Hey, is everyone else covered?" Like that. That's how awesome. It's cool to have like a purchase group is that, and we've known each other, for that many years where even though they've had themselves covered, they're still looking out for everyone else in the group and saying, hey, like I still have one open. Is there anyone who needs to get one? And I'll whatever day is left, I'll buy them one. So that's the luxury and that's the cool thing of having a purchase group. So by all means, if you've never gone to Comic-Con and that's something that you're trying to accomplish or do, definitely do your research, of course, but look into having a purchase group put together so that way not only can you maximize your ability to be able to get a badge, but at the same time, if you guys have been at it for a while, for a couple of years, you guys develop a second hand with each other, and trust is everything, especially if you guys are exchanging information about paying each other and doing that type of thing, and it's very imperative to have that tight knit group of people that you can count on. So do you have anything to add with that, Tim?
Yeah, it was of the 6 people in our purchase group, only one got in time to buy Saturday badges. So with you can buy 3. That happened to be all we needed for our group. But like one person trying to do it themselves, the odds are not in your favor.
No, not at all. So all right. So again, Tim, thanks so much, man, for hanging out with us for these 3 hours. Before I let you go, man, can you tell folks where you can be found?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Tim's Tabletop, where I share cosplay video, cosplay content, and D&D crafting content, and you can check out back episodes of the Entrepreneur podcast there as well.
Cool. And yes, it is cool to be able to do this first episode of what is it, info morsels with Brandon. Be on the lookout for other ones where it will be how-tos on different rev streams that you can do as someone who is a content creator. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, I still have movers and shakers going, so you can hop over to that channel too. But just know that for a lot of the how to do it yourself related content, you'll be able to find it over here on the older channel. So with that being said, you can find me at Brandon Troy ENT. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe out there as always, and see you soon. Peace.